was it? Good morning, students. In our previous class, we learned about we start with the immunity, and we learn about the different type of reactions, different type of immunity: innate immunity, adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is also known as the natural immunity or first line of defense, which is present at the birth. There are different type of cells which take part in the different immunities, like in innate immunity, epithelial barriers, dendritic cells, NK cells. In adaptive immunity, B and T cells are the main. So different type of receptors, like node-like receptors, toll-like receptors, then rig-like C-type of lectin receptors, which are also important in the mechanism of immunity. So the two types of immunity, that is cellular immunity and humoral immunity. Different type of cells: lymphocytes, T cells, B cells, plasma cells, macrophages, dendritic cells, and NK cells are there. And different type of cytokines also play major role in the mechanism of immunity. The important is the MHC class 1 and MHC class 2 receptor molecules. MHC class 2 molecules bind with the CD4 receptor, and MHC class 1 molecule bind with the CD8 cells and take part in the mechanism of immunity. Both of these cells and both of these receptors are important. They are present. MHC class 1 receptor present in all cells of the body, and MHC 2 class receptor present on certain cells like macrophages, dendritic cell, etc. You already know about the different type of granulocyte and agranulocyte from your previous lectures of the first MBBS, that is in physiology. The granulocytes are there, agranulocytes are there, and they are important cells in the immunity. Then NK cells are important in the viral and in the tumor infected viral infected cells and the tumor cells, and they are killing. The diagram is showing the different type of cells and their mechanism of action. Similar diagram. After this, there are different type of cytokines. After the different type of cells, there are different type of cytokines which take part in the immunological reaction, like cytokines, and they are known as cytokines and chemokines. This is the structure of the MHC. And these are the cellular event in which the as soon as the antigen is there coming in contact with our body, the dendritic cells which are present in the subepithelial tissue and under every tissue, it entrap the antigen, and the dendritic cells are the most important cells, which are the antigen entrapping cell, or they are in surveillance of the antigen. So as soon as the antigen comes, and they will bind with the dendritic cells, these dendritic cells carry the antigen to the different type of cells like CD4 cells and CD8 cell. CD4 cells has class 2 cell bind with the antigen. They presented it to the CD4 T cells. At the same time, CD4 8 cells, CD4 T cells, they become stimulated, and there is production of CD4 effector T cells. These differentiated effector T cells comes into the CD4 T cells, come into the circulation from the lymph node. Similarly, the CD8 T cells, also the macrophages or dendritic cells, presented it to the antigen with the help of MHC class 1 antigens, and there is proliferation of effector cells, CD8 T cells. They also comes into the circulation. A small subset of these cells will become memory cells here, so that in future they will come into the action. These differentiated CD4, CD8 T cells, when comes into the circulation, they goes at the site, they leave the circulation and they goes at the site of the antigen presentation. Here the CD4 T cell bind with the phagocyte and which has the antigen. So they will increase the cytokine secretion, and these become, the macrophages become activated and they will killing of the ingested microbes. At the other hand, these cytokines will also cause inflammation, and there is recruitment of the different type of inflammatory cells, particularly the neutrophils comes into the site of antigen and will cause inflammation, and the CD8 T cells will cause infected cell lysis, and there is killing of the infected cell. So all of these we also learn about it. In the humoral immunity, as soon as the antigen presented to the cell, there is proliferation of the cells, T cell, helper cells. They will cause activation of the B cells, and directly there is antigen bind with the B cell. Both of these will cause production of the conversion of the B cell into the plasma cell, and there is secretion of the IgE antibodies from these plasma cell, and these secreted IgE antibodies will bind with the FcRI receptor present on the mast cell. With the help of Fc receptor present on the IgE, they both bind, and then these armed cells are ready. There is repeat exposure. When there is a repeat exposure to allergen, they are already ready with armed immunoglobulins IgE, and will cause degranulation. There is activation of the mast cell and release of the mediators. So mediators are of two types, that is vasoactive amines, lipid mediators, and the cytokines. The vasoactive amines, lipid mediators, they will cause immediate hypersensitivity reaction. So within minutes there is repeat, after the repeat exposure to the allergen, they will cause their manifestation. The cytokines, on the other hand, will cause late phase reaction after 2 to 24 hours and after the repetition of the same allergen or same antigen. Now this diagram is showing the mast cell and their vasoactive amines. Like this antigen is there, they will bind with the IgE antibodies, and with the help of FcRI receptor on the mast cell and Fc receptor on the IgE, they will bind, and as soon as they bind, there is a signal production for the cytokine gene activation at the one hand, and membrane phospholipid activation on the release of membrane phospholipids and degranulation on the other hand. So there is these granules contain histamine and proteases. They will release membrane phospholipids. They will also release. They have two types. There are two types: arachidonic acid and platelet activating factor. In the arachidonic acid, prostaglandin D2 and leukotriene B4, C4 and D4 are there. All these will cause this histamine, proteases, prostaglandin D2, leukotriene B4, C4, D4, all will cause immediate response, and there is vasodilatation, vascular leakage and smooth muscle spasm. That is the clinical manifestation that will cause clinical manifestation of the this type of reaction. On the other hand, the signals for the cytokine gene activation will cause increased transcription and translation. So there is more and more amount of the cytokines are produced, and they will secrete it and will cause late phase reaction. In this, there is more and more recruitment of the leukocyte, or there is leukocyte infiltration, there is epithelial damage, there is bronchospasm. So these are the late phase manifestation, and these are the early phase manifestation or immediate manifestation. So immediate mediators, what are they? They are the preformed vasoactive amines, histamine, certain enzymes like chymase, tryptase, acid hydrolases, certain proteoglycans like heparin, chondroitin sulfate, and the lipid mediators are leukotriene C4, D4, B4, prostaglandin D2 and platelet activating factors. Late cytokines like TNF, tumor necrosis factor, interleukin 1 and interleukin 4. In the late phase, more and more amount of the neutrophil or the leukocytes come into the, or eosinophils, they come and they recruited that amplify and sustain the inflammatory response without additional exposure to the triggering agent. Chemokine and cytokines like interleukin 5 is the potent eosinophil activator. On activation, eosinophils liberate proteolytic enzymes that will damage the tissue. Late reaction is a major cause of symptoms like allergic asthma. So for the late and for the early, we have different treatment protocol. So in the early, we have in the late reaction, like in allergic asthma, the treatment is the broad spectrum anti-inflammatory drugs like steroids, which are more effective, and not the antihistaminic drugs, which are useful in the immediate type of reaction in allergic rhinitis. So in immediate type, we do only antihistaminic drugs. In the late type, we give broad spectrum anti-inflammatory drugs like steroids. They are more effective. Now, susceptibility to the immediate hypersensitive reaction, as I already told you, that there are certain factors like genetic factors, like environmental factors. Now, the certain individuals are highly susceptible, or they are highly genetically determined. So, there is increased propensity to develop immediate hypersensitivity reaction. It is also known as atopy. It has more IG, more level of the IgE antibodies. There is a positive family history in more than 50% of cases. Environmental factors are, in spite of genetic factors, environmental factors are also important. For example, viral infection of the airway are also important trigger for bronchial asthma and the bacterial skin infection, and they are strongly associated with the atopic dermatitis. Now this diagram is showing the immediate and late phase reaction after the exposure of the antigen. This is the immediate and this is the late few hours after exposure of the antigen. This diagram is showing the increased mast cell accumulation around the capillaries, and there is edema, and there is subepithelial collection of the inflammatory cells. There is the eosinophils are there. Now coming to the type 2 hypersensitivity antibody mediated, this is also known as antibody mediated immunity. Now in this, antibodies is attached to the cell. There is opsonization when it is covered the whole of the cell. This is known as opsonization. There is complement activation, there is phagocytosis, and ultimately there is lysis of the cell after lysis or destruction of the cells by the rupturing or breaking of the cell membrane. Now this diagram is showing opsonization of the cell with the antibodies. There is a activation of the phagocytes, and that will cause engulfment of this infected cell, and there is phagocytosis. Then complement and Fc receptor mediated inflammation, in which the inflammatory cell like neutrophil that has a major role, and that will cause nutritional that will cause release of the certain enzymes, neutrophil enzymes, which are present in the eosinophilic granules, and will cause release of certain reactive oxygen species that will cause inflammation and tissue injury. And the third one is the antibody mediated cellular dysfunction, in which the antibodies blocks the receptor, and that will cause the hindrance of the action of certain hormones or enzymes. Now these are the example of the antibody dependent cell mediated cytotoxicity. Like in SAD, the target antigens are the different type of DNA and nuclear antigens, DNA and RNA, and it will cause inflammation of many organs. Antibodies against there are antibodies against the red cell, WBC, platelet, clotting factors, and nuclear DNA. In Hashimoto, the examples are SLE, Hashimoto, and acute rheumatic fever. In Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the target antigen are present on the thyroid, and there is destruction of the thyroid follicles. In acute rheumatic fever, there are antibodies against the streptococcal cell wall, and that cross-react with the myocardium and the joint antigens, and it will cause pancreatitis and migratory polyarthritis. Other is the complement mediated phagocytosis of the target cell, and the examples are the Goodpasture syndrome, warm antibody drug induced blood transfusion reaction, and hemolytic disease of the newborn. In Goodpasture syndrome, the target antigens are the present on the proteins of the non-collagenous proteins in the basement membrane of the kidney and the lung alveoli. So there is antibodies against these structure. In the drug induced, there are antigens are the RBC and platelet membrane proteins. So antibodies to the surface RBC and platelets. There is opsonization and phagocytosis of the RBC and platelets. And in blood transfusion reaction, IgG and IgM antibodies attach to the foreign cells of the donor, resulting in complement fixation, and there is resultant formation of membrane attack complexes that lies the donor cells. In hemolytic disease of the newborn, the target antigens are the RBC membrane protein or Rh blood group antigen or I antigen, and there is opsonization and phagocytosis of the RBCs and result in hemolytic disease of the newborn. Now this picture is showing this hemolytic disease of the newborn when mother is Rh negative and the baby is Rh positive. So the Rh positive in the first pregnancy, the Rh positive baby's red cells, baby's cells cross the placenta and goes into the maternal circulation. It will cause sensitization of the maternal immune system, and there is development of the antibodies in the mother against the Rh positive cells of the fetus. So in first of all, there is the first baby is normal baby, but in the subsequent pregnancy there is the sensitized cells, sensitized immune system is there in the maternal circulation, in the maternal system, and the second Rh positive baby, if is there, the RBCs of the Rh positive so in subsequent or second pregnancy, the Rh positive baby is there, and the preformed antibodies against the Rh positive cells are there. They will react with the Rh positive cells and will cause hemolytic disease of the newborn. But if after first pregnancy we introduce anti-Rh antibodies to the maternal circulation, that will block that antibodies and will cause no harm to the fetus in subsequent pregnancy. So the baby become normal baby. Third is the anti-receptor antibody mediated type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. This is seen in different diseases like Graves' disease, myasthenia gravis, insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus, pernicious anemia, pemphigus vulgaris, Eaton-Lambert syndrome, and rheumatoid arthritis. So one prototype is the myasthenia gravis. Here is this slide shows the nerve ending. These are the neuron, and this is the muscle. And in this there is a release of the acetylcholine, and it will act on the receptor present on the muscle. But in this particular disease, there is blocking antibodies are there which blocks the receptor present on the muscle, these acetylcholine receptors. So they will block it, and the nerve ending is normal. There is secretion or there is a release of the acetylcholine, but they don't bind with the receptor, so there is no action of the acetylcholine. It will cause myasthenia, muscle weakness, that is myasthenia gravis. Now immune complex mediated or type 3 antibody, as you all know that antigen is there, antibody is there in the body. As soon as antigen comes, antibodies are there. So there is formation of antigen antibody complexes. So where they go? The antigen antibody complexes, as our filters, they will settle down at certain filters of the body, like in the kidney. They will settle in the kidney, blood vessels, skin and joints. And the common prototype is the, now this is the mechanism. The antigen antibodies are there in the vessel, and they will settle down. This complex will settle down in the basement, in the vessels, in the basement membrane of the kidney. Okay, they are deposition of the complexes like this. So there is vasculitis. There is after the this antigen antibody complexes, there is neutrophil lysosomal enzyme release and will cause vasculitis. Now systemic, certain diseases are there in which there is immune complexes widespreadly present. So the systemic immune complex disease is the prototype is the SLE or systemic lupus erythematosus. So due to administration of large amount of foreign serum and in cases of the diphtheria, we divided, it is also seen in cases of the diphtheral antigen administration. They are divided into the three phases: formation of the immune complexes, deposition of the immune complexes, and after deposition there is activation of the certain system that will cause inflammation and tissue injury. But what we see morphologically is fibrinoid necrosis, which is shown in this diagram. What is fibrinoid necrosis? There is necrosis of the vessel wall, and there is infiltration of the neutrophil in the vessel wall, and there is disruption of the different structure of the vessel wall like elastic laminas, etc. Then local, these are the systemic type, and the local immune complexes, the prototype is the Arthur's reaction. This localized area of the tissue necrosis, which we usually seen in the skin. So localized, the prototype is Arthur's, other are the serum sickness. Localized, the prototype is the Arthur's. In the systemic reaction, the prototype is the SLE, other are serum sickness, polyarteritis nodosa, post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis, farmer's lung, and reactive arthritis. T cell mediated, the last, after first, second and third type of hypersensitivity reaction, the last one is the T cell mediated or type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. It is caused by inflammation resulting from the cytokines produced by the CD4 T cell and the cells killing by the CD8 T cells. So there is active participation of CD4 and CD8 T cells. Cytokine produced by the CD4 T cell induce inflammation that may be chronic and destructive. So prototype is the delayed type of hypersensitivity, is a tissue reaction to the antigen given to the immune individual. It is divided into two stages. Stage 1, there is activation of CD4 T cell. Stage 2 is response of different effector T cell. And the classical example is of delayed type of hypersensitivity is the tuberculin reaction. And the common one is the contact dermatitis. So in tuberculin reaction, we introduce intracutaneous, we introduce PPD or tuberculin by the intracutaneous injection. So if it is individual is previously sensitized, there is induration and reddening of the site which appears in 8 to 12 hours and peak in 24 to 72 hours, then it slowly subsides. So this tuberculin test is obsolete now, but it is important in previous years. So with non-detectable antigen like tubercle bacilli, so I will show you this tuberculin skin reaction. This is done on the forearm, and there is induration and reddening is there. With non-detectable antigen like tubercular bacilli, antigen, the different type of cells, they try to limit these bacilli. So they are surrounded by macrophages over a period of 2 to 3 weeks, and with sustained activation, macrophages transformed into the epithelioid cells. There is aggregation of the epithelial cells surrounded by a collar of lymphocytes. So whole of this structure is known as granuloma, and this pattern of inflammation is known as granulomatous inflammation. This diagram is showing this granulomatous inflammation or granuloma. So as soon as the antigen is presented by the antigen presenting cell like dendritic cell, and it is presented to the CD4 T cell, and also by the interleukin, there is secreted interleukin 12 that will also increase the CD4 cell activity, and these activated CD4 cells secrete TNF, tumor necrosis factor, interferon gamma, and interleukin 2. So these will cause movement of the monocyte from the circulation to they become macrophages, and they will form different giant cells, that is that will form giant cell, that is the Langerhans giant cell, and there is a formation of the epithelioid cells, or these are actually macrophages, monocyte macrophages, and they limit the this bacilli or this tuberculin bacilli, which is the prototype disease is the tuberculosis. So there is perivascular, there is cuff of the lymphocytes all around. So in the center there are bacilli, there is epithelioid cell, there is giant cell, and there are multiple fibroblasts and the giant cells. So this diagram is showing the typical granuloma. This is the histological picture of the granuloma. These are this is the Langerhans giant cell. There are now the contact dermatitis. So this four type of reaction is seen in the contact dermatitis, granulomatous inflammation, and tuberculin test. Now this table is showing the four types of immunological reaction, their immune mechanism, their histopathologic region, and there are their prototypical disorders. In type 1, there is production of IgE antibodies, there is vascular dilatation, edema, smooth muscle contraction, mucus production, tissue injury, inflammation, and there is anaphylaxis, allergy, bronchial asthma or atopic form. Then antibody mediated production of production of IgG, IgM, and histopathologically phagocytosis and lysis of the cells. Inflammation is there, functional rearrangement, and the prototypes are the autoimmune hemolytic anemia, Goodpasture syndrome. In immune complex mediated type 3 hypersensitivity reaction, there is deposition of the antigen antibody complexes, and there is inflammation, necrotizing vasculitis or fibrinoid necrosis. And the prototypes are this SLE and glomerulonephritis, serum sickness, Arthur's reaction. Cell mediated type 4 hypersensitivity reaction, there is activated T cells, T cells or T lymphocytes, there is release of cytokines. There is perivascular cellular infiltrate, edema, granuloma formation, cell destruction. These prototypes are the contact dermatitis, multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, and tuberculosis. So today we learn about the four types of hypersensitivity reaction. Type 1 is acute allergic reaction, type 2 is antibody directed against the cell surfaces or antibody mediated, third is immune complex mediated, and fourth is delayed type of hypersensitivity reaction. I hope that you will understand the things of hypersensitivity reaction. Thank you.